Last time on Casino Royale with cheese.
He said he needs a place to stay.
Man, why don't you just spring that on me there, guy?
Yeah. Welcome to the family, weird face swipe.
Right, daughter face swipes his ass.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is, I guess, whenever your son gets killed, you can kill the guy that killed him and then take his little latchkey kid home in place of your son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good story.
Yeah.
Have to remember that.
Yes.
No, man, it's weird because at the end of the movie they're like, yeah, we lost our son. But here's this other son.
Looks a lot like him.
Right, it does. That's true. But I'm like, that doesn't replace him, right?
Got
like,
the same haircut.
You still lost your son.
Looks a lot like him.
Right.
He's around the same age when our kid died. We can just pick up where we left off.
Right.
Face swipe.
Your son's still dead, though. You realize
No,
that,
I got a
right?
new one. His name's Adam right here.
No, we're actually going to change his name to Mike. It'll be the exact same kid.
And now, the conclusion.
Houston, we have a problem.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Silent Green is people!
Yo, Adrian! Adrian!
Let's put a smile on that face.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here as they do at them regular casinos.
Royale, too.
It's junk. First class junk.
Welcome back to Casino Royale with Cheese. This is episode number 39 of the internet show where we discuss movies that were number one at the box office exactly 20 years ago. My name is Shane. Today I'm joined by the man who is undoubtedly questioning his life choices up to this point. This is Mike.
No shit.
How's it going there, my friend?
Well, it's a pretty dreary Saturday.
It is.
So
Fall finally hit.
Yeah, it hit like a Mack truck.
Yeah. It went from 90 down to like 60 in like a day.
It did. The kids have been cooped in the house all day as a result.
They're driving me nuts.
Me
which
as
means
well.
that they're going nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah. There's no football today.
Yeah, no game.
No. We're out of the bathroom.
Yes.
So yeah.
A different location.
Yep.
Home base, you would say.
Home base, kind of, for me at least.
Yeah.
We're at my house, not Mike's.
Yeah.
So oh man, today we took a nosedive from Face Off. Last week I admitted that I actually enjoyed that movie. I might even go so far as to say I might bump that up to a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Today is the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh, God.
This is a not guilty displeasure. So I do not feel remorse about not liking this at all.
This week we had the displeasure of watching a movie I didn't know existed.
No, not at all. Me neither.
And it was a number one hit in 1998.
Why is it? So I went into... We're watching Practical Magic.
Starring Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman.
Definitely a dip for both of these people because they've done greater things since then, I think.
Well, both great careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of them at
Great actresses.
Yeah, at one point or another, both of them were like big A-lists.
Oh, yeah.
And it was right around this time, actually, where they were like starting to really surge onto the scene.
I don't know what they were thinking.
They must have got paid, son.
Bling bling. It's funny because me and Mike actually, this movie had me questioning last night the format of this show entirely. I was sitting back going, because when you think about this, Mike, this could be the closest that we're going to get to doing a horror-themed movie for Halloween.
This is the closest we might get to like a Halloween-themed Halloween movie?
There's one in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
But I think that whenever we actually put it up on iTunes and YouTube, it's going to be after Halloween. So fucking fantastic. We screwed the pooch on that whole deal.
Right.
But if you think about this, so the number 2 movie at the box office this week, 20 years ago, was Bride of Chucky. Perfect. I think that would have been a perfect movie to do for this show.
Right.
But it wasn't. It never hit the number 1.
Well, we talked about it, and we discussed just going ahead and doing that movie instead. But to be true to ourselves, and what the whole point of this show was for us, to discuss number 1 movies exactly 20 years ago, we had to do it.
Damn our integrity.
Yeah. We
Ain't that a motherfucker?
We had to do practical magic.
We did. As much as we were kicking and screaming going into this whole deal. You know what else is a motherfucker too? Is earlier this year, a movie that came out was Halloween H2O. And I was like, why in the hell would you release that movie any other time than October?
When was it released?
It was in like July.
What?
Yeah. It should be illegal to call a movie Halloween and have it not come out in October.
The earliest, the last week of September.
Right. Absolutely. You know, that's fair.
Yeah.
But that's retarded, bro. So, yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. More to the practical magic thing, I was kind of surprised to not see Meg Ryan show up in this sort of thing.
Fair?
Yeah, this seems like something that she would have put out back in 20 years ago, you know?
They may not have been able to afford her.
Well, that is another story. Because we're going to talk about money here in a minute. And, wow, dude. Pretty crazy.
Am I going to get my mind blown?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
Neither one of us had seen this movie.
Nope.
Heard of it, much less seen it.
Yep.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock, not a huge name at the time. I mean, she had been in some stuff, but she really didn't go on to greater things until I would say around the era of like the
Miss Congeniality.
2000. Well, she did that sort of thing. In like the 2010s, she went on to do like The Blind Side and stuff. And that's when she really and then she was in Gravity, and people started to really like take her seriously, I guess.
Yeah, Blindside definitely put her as like a serious actress.
Right. Yeah. And then she hooked up with Jesse James. It's just kind of weird.
Dude, you know,
that dude's kind of.
I thought while we were watching this movie last night, I was sitting there thinking about Jesse James.
Were you?
Yeah, because Sandra Bullock is beautiful.
Oh, gorgeous. Yeah.
And her characters always have like this warmth about them. So yeah, I tend to feel like she probably has some type of warmth about her.
Right. She's not gonna be an asshole, I wouldn't think.
I mean, we don't know.
I mean, she could be.
But I'm with you on that. I don't think she is.
Right. She doesn't play a lot of villains, we'll say that.
Right. But Jesse James still seemed to get himself in there.
Yeah.
And that makes me think
He's a bad boy.
That makes me think that she's even like a better person than you would assume, because the dude had already been married to a porn star.
Right. Yeah.
Had kids.
She's like, oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got over that.
You know what? That takes a big person to be like, meh. He was married to somebody that has sex for a living, but that's okay.
A pretty big one too, actually.
Yeah.
She was on the cover of Blink-182's "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket."
Who was it she was married to, or he was married to?
I don't know her name. She was the cover
Jenny
model.
Jameson? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
She was the cover model on the Blink-182 album "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket." It's the nurse with like a rubber glove.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had always wondered who that was, actually.
Yep.
So, yeah. Because I remember back in the day, I had to choose between, like, the No Doubt Tragic Kingdom and that CD. And I was like, I'll go Tragic Kingdom. But I always remembered seeing that old gal on the front, you know?
Well, you definitely made the right choice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, No Doubt. That was a fantastic CD.
Tragic
I don't know
Kingdom?
anybody that didn't have that, you know?
It's a classic.
I wonder how many times that thing went platinum, dude. Because everybody had that CD, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Nicole Kidman, 2 years prior to this, had been in Batman Forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though I'm not too crazy about that movie, I think that this is kind of a dip down. She definitely was.
Days of Thunder.
Slumming it. Oh yeah, Days of Thunder. She was great in that.
Far and Away.
Mm-hmm. She would go on like a year later to be in, or 2 years later to be in Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh right.
With her
With
betrothed.
her husband.
Yeah. Get to see her boobies. So that's nice.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yep.
I've only seen the movie once.
Oh, okay. I have it on Blu-ray. But
fast forward to that part.
I doubt our wives would appreciate it. Let's all get drunk and watch Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
There's Nicole
Hey, guys,
Kidman's
that looks
movies.
fun.
Yeah, there's all sorts of orgies and stuff. Yeah.
You guys got any ideas?
I told my wife when we were dating that I owned a copy of Eyes Wide Shut, and she looked at me like I was the biggest pervert ever, dude.
It's Not a Night at the Blue Iguana. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, that's Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get out.
Splash.
Yeah, Daryl Hannah. She's a stripper,
Okay.
and you see everything.
Oh. Nice. How old is it?
Oh, it's got to be 15 years old at least.
Okay. So there's a possibility that everything doesn't include the nether regions, because back then people were growing their own pants and stuff.
Good point. I don't remember, honestly.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking when I saw Boogie Nights. They show so much full frontal in that movie, and I was just like, can't see anything anyway.
Boogie Nights invented the thing they use in Hollywood. It's called a merkin.
Merkin, release the merkin.
It's called a merkin, and it's an artificial hairpiece that they use for like genitals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Somebody had to create that?
Yeah, Heather Graham didn't have no hair.
Dude, you could just go to a costume shop and buy a set of eyebrows or something. Burt Reynolds in that movie, just grab his wig and fucking like, cut it to, panty line.
Yeah, it's called a merkin.
Yeah. Interesting. I never knew that. I don't know why being bushy down there was ever a thing, but going down the road, I guess.
Because it's natural?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I have my own opinions on it.
The only reason why hairless is popular now is because of porn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I never thought about that. Yeah, I can see that.
The good news is it's made pubic lice almost extinct.
That is true. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you, porn industry. You've made the world a better place. Minus all the, other stuff that's bad that's taken place since then, but whatever.
Wow, we've gotten far. This is how much we want to talk about this movie.
We could talk about Sandra Bullock's in other regions, but I don't think people would appreciate that too.
She's a sweetheart,
We
man.
could speculate.
It's probably awesome.
What's your favorite Sandra Bullock movie?
That is a good question. I never thought about it before.
I know. Like, do I have one?
I mean, I love Speed.
See that? You just stole mine, motherfucker.
Well, how could I not?
Right. Well, as much as that is like a Sandra Bullock thing, that's a Keanu Reeves movie. At
It
the end
is.
of the day, yeah.
They're together, though.
Right. Speed 2, she played a bigger role. That's nobody's favorite
She was
movie.
awesome in Miss Congeniality.
She was. She was indeed. I did like, so Gravity I thought was decent, but if you don't really like Sandra Bullock, then you're not gonna like that movie, because it's just her floating through space for like 2 hours,
Yeah, it's all her.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I remember back in the day really liking The Net, where she's like a computer hacker or whatever. But
I vaguely remember that.
I don't know. Wasn't she in one of those Mel Gibson movies where like a kid got kidnapped, or was it Ransom?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. You'll be happy to know, Mike, that numbers-wise, this is the 1,785th highest-grossing movie domestically.
It's really high. They make a lot of movies.
Of all time, that's not too bad, I guess. I mean, there's like, 1,000 movies come out a year at least, so.
A lot of movies.
Yeah.
At least hundreds.
Right. Let's talk about the cast, if we must.
Okay.
We got Sandra Bullock. She plays Sally Owens.
I love her.
Yep. Nicole Kidman, Gillian Owens.
I love her.
Love her.
You want to know what my favorite movie of hers is? Moulin Rouge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I used to own Moulin Rouge.
I do own it.
And then I kind of got talked out of liking it.
Why?
Yeah, it's not that good.
It is
I don't
good.
think. It's all right. The best thing about it is the modern day, like...
The music.
Right, exactly. Story-wise...
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I'm with you there. It's a musical, though, so it's all about the music.
Well, you know me and musicals. But as far as musicals go, that one's music selection is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Favorite movie of hers of mine? Ooh. That's a tough one there. She was, I guess back in the day, she was in the movie... She was in something we were looking at last night.
Oh, that was your favorite? The one you can't remember at all?
No, I've actually never seen it, but I was interested in it at the time. So, thanks for calling me out there, douchebag.
You're welcome, buddy.
This movie did have a song that I was actually interested in. To Kill For, that's the name of that movie we were talking about last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That I remember seeing the posters, and she looked like she was wearing some kind of night negligee or something, but like it was falling around her shoulders, and me as a teenage kid, I was like, hey, that might be a good movie, you know? So,
right on.
Right. I like The Others with her in it. I thought that was a pretty good movie.
Okay.
This movie did feature a song that I hadn't heard in a long time in it. And I was talking to you about it last night. Like, man, I haven't heard that song in forever. You're like, 20 years? That is This Real by Lisa Hall. Shortly featured.
Yeah, I remember when you mentioned it during the movie, and I don't know if I remember that song at all.
Yeah, it's a good one. We got Stalker Channing playing Aunt Frances.
Okay.
It's funny because the ants, are they even characters?
They're there.
I mean, they're there. Do we ever find out anything about them, really?
Nope.
Nope.
They're witches.
They're witches. That's their character arc.
Spinsters.
Right. So yeah, we've got Stalker Channing playing Aunt Frances. In my notes, I just wrote down the ants, because if one of them's doing it, the other one's doing it too.
Sure.
So it doesn't fucking matter which one's doing what. There's Aunt Jet, played by Diane West. Diane West seems like she might have turned her nose up at this thing, but I don't know.
She's in it.
She did show up. Goran Visnajic plays Jimmy Angelov. Whatever.
He's Bulgarian.
Yeah. Aidan Quinn plays Gary Hallett. The only one other that I thought was really notable was Evan Rachel Wood shows up in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, playing Kylie. She is lovely, and she's really talented. I think she's great.
She's married to Marilyn Manson.
Were they married? I knew they were together.
Yeah,
for
they're
a while.
married.
Oh, okay. They're not anymore, though.
No.
Are they? Yeah. So she's back on the market for all you single fellas out there. Although I don't know how you bounce back from Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, you can't compete, bro.
Unless she's wanting to do something completely different, you're probably not going to satisfy her.
Yeah,
What if she was like, he's a nice guy, but he's just not weird enough? You know?
Wonder what Rob Zombie's doing.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Billy Bob. I think Billy Bob Thornton was only weird for Angelina, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. We talked about it.
Yeah.
What movie was that? Oh,
We're talking about something.
I think it was Armageddon.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
I think he went. He had a little, because she's so gorgeous that he just lost his mind and was like,
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Blood Ball, sure. Yeah, that's fine. The other thing, there's a couple other bits of information on here that are worth noting.
Okay.
One of the script writers for this movie, a man by the name of Akiva Goldsman. We've talked about him before.
We have?
We have. That doesn't ring no bells to you there, Mike?
Nope.
We've talked about him for a movie that we've already discussed that came out in 1998 already, Lost in Space. He
right.
also the previous year wrote Batman and Robin. So,
This movie all of a sudden makes so much sense.
dude, that's what I'm saying. That's why I mean, like, if you put a chicken in front of a typewriter, you could pick out something better than Batman and Robin, you know. The other one is Alan Silvestri. We talked about him before too. He did the music. He did the music for Forrest Gump, which all the whimsical nature of this musical score kind of makes a little bit more sense. But he also did, The Predator and stuff like that. So he's previously done greater things, and
I have a feeling that he was hired for this movie, and then he saw the movie and was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do?"
What the fuck? He probably didn't even stay through the premiere. He sat down for like 20 minutes. He was like, "Oh my god, get me out of here."
Remove my name from these credits.
All right, I'm good. Yeah. He's lucky that he went back to work with James Cameron later on. So, me and Mike both, whenever we sat down to watch this last night, so your sister-in-law has already seen this movie.
She'd seen it multiple times, she said.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, it sucks." Why the fuck you keep watching it then?
Yeah.
You know. And so she happened to be with us last night. We got to watch this one together. We usually save that for special occasions, but for whatever reason we did last night, and we just kept putting this thing off, dude. We had zero interest in watching this fucking movie at all.
We didn't end up starting it until like 9:30.
And I think we finished about midnight, even though it's under 2 hours, you know.
Well, we had to tuck kids in.
We did, yeah. This movie, so here's the funny thing about it. So keep in mind, the movie Lost in Space was made on a budget of $80 million, right?
Okay.
This movie was made on a budget of $75 million.
What?
Why would it cost that much money?
There's nothing in the movie.
There's nothing.
There's 6 characters. Well, 8, counting 2 kids.
Right.
There's one house.
Right.
A hotel room.
Right.
And a botanical shop.
They had to buy a shitty car to drive around in for like 10 minutes.
I'm sure they had that at the lot.
Yeah. Or a fucking producer was like, yeah, just use my car. I don't care. It could have been a Toyota Corolla too. Like nobody gives a fuck what
the car made no difference.
Yeah. The thing that I find funny, so even if you go through and you give Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, who carry the brunt of this movie, even if you give them $10 million a piece, dude, what the fuck else are you doing with the rest of that money, bro? Is this like an embezzlement scheme or what, you know?
You might be onto something.
I might be.
'Cause there's nothing in the movie.
The IRS needs to investigate the fuck out of this thing, dude.
I mean, the production value on this thing is like a play.
It was like a made-for-TV bullshit movie.
Yeah.
And I guess, so they did license a lot of songs for the soundtrack. But what the fuck are you... That still doesn't explain...
The songs didn't make a difference either.
No, they didn't. You could have had that regular music to go with any of that shit. Yeah. Well, and it's like, is this real by... Who did I say that was? Like, that's gonna cost a lot of money to fucking license that song, you know?
Golly.
I couldn't find any international box office takes on this thing, but do you dare to guess? First off, how many weeks do you think this thing was number one?
Please tell me one.
It was 1 week, yeah.
Okay.
Overall, how much do you think that it made domestically in the U.S.?
$35.
35. This price is right. You still would have won.
Okay, cool.
It made $46,683,000.
Yeah, I guess about half is what it would have been.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it bombed pretty hard at the box office. The funny thing is when I saw this, that this movie was coming up, I was thinking to myself like, I mean, this could be like The Craft or something like that. You know, like that's not a bad movie. You know, something that maybe I wasn't familiar with, but has kind of a darker edge with a villain and a story to it. And nope.
I wasn't expecting what we got.
I didn't.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not even really sure what we got, honestly, bro. Do you want to start talking about this movie now?
Yeah, but let's do everybody a favor and kind of get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're not gonna elaborate too much. There's nothing to elaborate on. Nothing happens. My first note said, I don't care the slightest about this movie. So, the intro I said reminded me of Titanic.
It's on the ocean.
Well, yeah, it's on the ocean. There's an old lady talking about some shit that happened way back in the day. Mm-hmm. There was an old school pilgrim witch hanging.
Yeah.
I would assume it was like a Salem witch trials type of deal.
I think that's a pretty good guess.
Yeah. There was an ancestor that was being hanged called Maria. She was the first witch in the family, which they never established how she became a witch.
Nope.
They never established if she did something to like pass it down through her lineage in her family.
Nope.
All of a sudden she's a witch, and all the other women and the rest of her family are witches. So.
Yep. The Owens women.
Right. The Owens. Yep.
And she was being hung and used some type of spell to break the rope.
Break the rope. Yep.
So she lived.
Fantastic.
The villagers all ran away.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I love. So in this scene, we get the Forrest Gump type of like whimsical music during this public execution that's taking place. It's not like a dark moment or anything like the grass is green, flowers are blooming, everybody's having a good time. Mm-hmm. And, you know, sounds like Janae just died, you know. So Apparently, she was banished after they couldn't kill her, but she was pregnant by somebody?
Yeah, they banished her to an island with her unborn child.
Right. She was waiting for this dude to come back that was the father of the child.
She thought he was gonna come save her.
Right, but he never came back. And so she cast a spell upon herself so that she wouldn't feel love.
And that any men
that fall in love with her would eventually die.
Right.
Like right after they hear this Death Watch beetle sound.
Yep.
Yeah. I wrote Alan Silvestri music? 3 question marks. Come on, bro. You could do better than this. Nobody is trying here. You know? Anyway, we got Sally and Jillian. Apparently I guess their parents, like, their mom heard the Death Watch beetle, their dad wound up dying, and then mom died of a broken heart, so they went to go live with their aunts.
Right.
Yes. In the neighborhood, kids don't like their witchiness.
Yeah, they hit them with
witchy woman.
They pelt them with rocks as soon as they show up to the new house.
Yep.
They show up to the aunt's house. All the other kids run over there, and the 2 girls are like, "You guys want to play?" Bam! They start hitting them with rocks.
You're a witch.
You're a witch. You're a witch. You're a witch.
It's really creative.
That's their chant.
How the fuck do they even know that they're... I mean, obviously they have aunts that maybe they've done some witchy stuff around town, but you can't tell by looking at these people that they're witches.
Nope.
These girls don't even know anything about being witchy necessarily at this point. Whatever, man.
The aunts seem pretty legit though.
Yeah.
The girls get to eat chocolate cake for breakfast, and
oh yeah, I said the
don't-
aunts want the girls to be willfully ignorant because they said you're not doing homework.
yeah.
Yeah, all this shit. You'll learn more with us than you'll ever learn. You know, doing. Oh, great. Well, that's a really great way to set them up for life. So they wind up helping a local lady that like loves this dude, but
She's married.
Yeah. And so anyway, they put this love spell on this woman or whatever so that this dude that she's hung up on will fall like deeply in love with her. And Sally does this love spell for a guy. She comes up with all this crap, basically.
Rides a pony backwards. Can flip pancakes high in the air.
Yeah.
One eye's green, one eye's blue.
Mm-hmm.
She makes all this stuff up so that this guy will never exist.
Right. So that, yeah, basically she'll never fall in love if that's the guy that she's gonna fall in love with. We jump ahead a little while later. Let me ask you this. So you were talking about how they were twins.
Yeah.
Do they actually say that in the movie?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Because I was sitting there, like you and your sister-in-law Michelle were talking about it, and I was like, maybe I just wasn't paying attention or something, which is understandable in a movie like this.
I didn't even think about that until you just said something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're just sisters, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. To me, Nicole Kidman seemed like, you know,
The
maybe
younger
like
one?
the younger bratty sister, you know.
Yeah, I got that. I get that.
But they could have been twins for all we know, too. They don't ever really elaborate too much on the hierarchy there.
The only reason I assumed they were twins is because even when they were children and they show them together, they're like the same height.
Yeah, you can assume they're
They look similar in age.
same age, yeah.
Yeah, so I just assumed they were twins. But yeah, you're
I'd
right.
say at most they're maybe 2 years apart, if they are not twins.
Right.
So, yeah.
Probably Irish twins. Like,
Yeah.
10 months
Well,
apart.
Nicole Kidman and her fiery red hair. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman. But even today, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Women that feel like they need to get fucking work done on their face, you're sorely mistaken. Like, Nicole Kidman, she's getting up there, but she's still a beautiful woman, you know? So,
Sandra Bullock, too.
there you go. Exactly. Sandra Bullock is great.
Yeah.
She doesn't look that much older today than she did back, you know, in this era. So, but on the other hand, we mentioned Meg Ryan earlier. Oh, yeah.
But you can do whatever you want.
Fucking, oh yeah, do whatever you want. I'm all in favor of, hey, you know what? You do you, but you shouldn't feel obligated to for fear of looking reprehensible or whatever.
So this is the time in the movie where I stopped taking notes.
Yeah, Mike made it about 10 minutes. I'm good.
I'll do my best to remember.
Right.
Let's go.
Jillia wants to run away from the aunt's house with her little boyfriend.
She
I
does
guess.
run
Yeah.
away. She doesn't want to. She does.
She said that she was going to Orlando, Florida.
No.
But I looked it up on Wikipedia and it said L.A.
Yeah, no, she's all over the place.
Oh,
She
okay.
leaves with this dude.
So she is Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Yeah, she runs all over the place, and like the only reason we know this is because on a walk to the store, the aunts get a postcard,
Right.
Or the sister gets, Sally gets a postcard, and they're reading like, oh, she's in Orlando now, and Sally talks about how she keeps jumping from guy to guy.
Right. Yep. The ants, by the way, haven't aged today. They look the exact same way they did, so
Yep.
very poor makeup there. Sally talks about missing Jillian and leaves fall from the trees. Whatever. And then one of the ants, I think it's Jet, sees like this dude in the street, and she winds up putting a spell on the guy, which they didn't explain until later, and I had to verify it on Wikipedia a little bit. They make it really unclear what happens here. So, what really takes place is apparently the ant sees this guy, and she sees where Sally looked at the dude with like a little wondering eye type of deal. And the ant actually wished, she put a spell on the dude, or maybe it was on her niece, Sally, saying that she wished for Sally's happiness. And so basically that roped this dude into falling for Sally, essentially.
Yeah, but we don't see any of this.
No, she just passed, the ant like looks at him for like 5 seconds.
All we know is Sally's working in the garden.
Right.
The church bell rings. She hauls ass to the market and
Right.
and jumps on this dude, and they're in love.
And then we get one of the many songs that I guess ate up the budget of this movie.
This Kiss by Faith Hill.
What the fuck? It was at this point that I was just sitting there like, oh my god. Like, I was like, I don't think I can do this, bro. This movie is also on IMDb listed as a fantasy romantic comedy. Is there anything funny in this fucking movie to you, Mike? Besides the fact that it exists?
I saw a couple of moments where they tried to make it funny.
They did. It fell flat on its face though, dude.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so the dude that she winds up kissing up on in town, his name is Michael. Then we jump ahead. They've been married for 3 years. They got 2 daughters.
We're getting this through. She's speaking the letter she's writing to her sister.
Right.
She's been married for 3 years, got 2 kids. She's in love. She's couldn't be happier.
They do all this schmaltzy bullshit too, where it shows them like doing a conga line in the living room and like all this unrealistic family shit that nobody ever does. Maybe Mormons, but that's
I
it.
would. I would conga the shit out of that place with my family.
Well, if you're married to Sandra Bullock, I guess.
I mean, if my wife was down to do a conga line right now, I'm cool.
I'm not doing a conga line. I'm sorry. My wife probably would be down too.
Well,
We ain't
then
doing
my
that
wife,
shit.
or me and your wife will do conga lines.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure we have.
Little wife swap sort of thing. So we cut back to Jillian, who's in Florida. It looks like she's hanging out with Ron Jeremy. Honestly, there's like a dude in a Speedo. He's got a little bit of a gut, but he's nice and tan, long hair, fucking nothing going on up on top of his head though. And I think that might be Ron Jeremy, that Mario-looking motherfucker.
Yeah, she's dancing in the middle of like 3 or 4 guys,
Yeah,
but she's got her eyes on just one dude.
Jimmy Angelov, or Jimmy Love as they call him, I guess. And this is where we hear that other song that I was talking about. He goes up with his necktie and blindfolds her and all this other stuff. And then we cut back to Sally's house. She's asleep, and we hear Death Watch Beetle in the middle of the night. And so Sally basically decides that she's gonna go traipse all around the house trying to find this beetle so she can kill the motherfucker.
She's ripping up floorboards.
She tears the fuck out of the floor of her house. I don't know how long she was supposed to be working on this thing, but we look and there's like fat stacks of just floorboards all over around her, you know?
Right.
Dude, you know magic. You can snap your fingers and probably vaporize a little motherfucker, you know? But
That's a good point.
yeah. Anyway, I wrote down that Michael gets killed in a mousetrap accident, but I think that it played out differently than I thought it would. I thought it was gonna be like, you know, somebody dropped an apple off of an apple cart and he like slipped on it and there's the bike riders coming and he like dodged out of their way and all this other, somebody opens a car door at just the right second, but no, it didn't really play out like that. There's a team of cyclists. They go racing through the street.
Yeah, like
which he's a fucking dumbass.
60.
What is his job anyway? delivering apples by cart.
I don't know.
Fucking way to go, Sandra Bullock. You picked a winner, dude.
I think he like
What's he make, like 8 cents an hour?
he works. I think he works at the farmer's market.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Anyway, he's terrified that one of these cyclists is going to hit him, which if they did, it wouldn't kill him anyway.
It hurt.
It would hurt like a motherfucker, I would guess.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll kill you. And so anyway, once they pass by without hitting him, he like stands in the road and waves at them, which none of them are looking at him anyway, so that's pointless. And then his dumb fucking ass doesn't even realize that there's a semi-truck that like mows this motherfucker right over while he's staring at these cyclists riding away.
What was the truck driver doing?
I don't know, man. Fucking
Texting?
yeah, exactly. Texting and driving. This has been a PSA from Casino Royale with Cheese. I don't know, man. So he dies after the semi-truck hits him.
Predictably.
Yeah. I could, obviously. You know, as soon as you find out about that spell that this is gonna bite somebody in the ass, obviously. Sally goes see her aunts, and this is where they kind of explain that they had Jet had cast a spell to ensure her happiness. She says that they brought him to her and she wants him back. But I tell her that if they put a spell on him, that he would be different, dark and sinister.
Yeah, she wants them to revive. She wants the ants to revive him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself right now, like, are we about to turn this movie into
Pet
Weekend
Cemetery.
at Bernie's? No, I'm thinking Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
The ants are walking around like trying to fucking like play it off like he's alive.
No, I just
They
thought-
got magic and shit too. They're like making him dance in the corner and shit. Yeah.
That's what I was getting ready to turn into. I'm like, this might get good.
Right? There were so many times I was watching this movie thinking, okay, now we're getting the ball rolling. This is some shit that I could be interested in. And it never fucking gets there. You know?
And we kept telling my sister-in-law's name is Michelle, and
Right.
Michelle would be like, "How are you guys doing?" And we would keep telling her like, "Oh, it's starting to get good now."
I was being sarcastic.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
But you could tell that's when they thought the people who made the movie were like, "This is where we're gonna start ramping it up."
Right. Yeah.
And we're really gonna draw the audience in now.
Well, so I was thinking about it too. So the Weekend at Bernie's, if you want to do the romantic comedy, that would be fantastic. I'm just gonna say, have him over there like a marionette, fucking doing his thing in the corner, you know, like they make him go to bed and stuff. The other thing I was thinking about is if you do like Pet Cemetery,
I like
where
that
they're
idea
like,
better.
where they're like, all right, we'll bring him back, and then he comes back and he just goes on like a fucking killing spree, like he's evil now. Dude, that could be a pretty good movie.
I like
you
that
know?
idea better.
Yeah, and she's like being torn away because, you know, she's like in love with him and stuff, and she's like, you know, this isn't really him, and they're like, yeah, obviously, you know.
I told you that.
Could be pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, they never go that route.
No, they just tell them no. Tell her no.
Right, yeah. So Sally takes her daughters to go live with the aunts. I guess because her floor's fucked up. I'm not fixing that.
And she tells the aunts that her daughters will go to school, they will do their homework, they will not eat chocolate cake for breakfast, and they will not practice magic.
We're not doing any of this magic rubbish. Yeah. But she's in mourning. So she tells her kids, you're going to school, and then she like wants to lay in bed and doesn't want to take them to school. Mm-hmm. So, brilliant. Good job. Because you know the aunts aren't going to take them. So, by the way, while we're mentioning Pet Cemetery, apparently that's a remake that they're doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the trailer for it's out. I'm gonna just put this on blast right now. The Pet Cemetery is a great movie. I really like it, and I'm excited for the remake. I think that these Stephen King remakes of older works are something you're gonna start seeing more of those since they did It, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of down for it, as long as they don't fuck with Maximum Overdrive, because it's retarded.
Well, they can make it better.
I don't think they could, dude.
Okay.
It's really a dumb premise. So,
Probably is a lot better in a book.
I don't even think it was a book. I think Stephen King just grabbed a pen and fucking a napkin and was like, where's Emilio Estevez? Yeah. So meanwhile, we see Jillian, and she and this Jimmy Love are wrapping up like an all-night fuck-a-thon down in Florida. And I guess I didn't really get what's going on here. Apparently, we see her put some shit in his liquor bottle.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this is
explain
something
that.
they don't explain to us in the fucking movie either.
Okay.
The girls have telepathy,
Right. Yeah. And we see that later on. They're kind of talking
but
to each
this
other.
is
and
when we
shit.
see it.
We don't see it at all at this point.
Well, we see it right here. So,
okay.
so Sally looks up at her hand, rubs her scar on her hand because they made a blood pact when Jillian ran away with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't.
they made a blood pact that they would die
They would
together.
die together. Yeah.
On the same day. They were going to live to be old and they die together.
If they're witches, can't they be immortal?
I don't know.
Okay.
So, she looks at the scar on her hand and says Jillian, and well, it mentally says Jillian, and then Jillian looks up at her hand and says Sally.
Yeah.
So now she knows that Sally needs her.
Saves on the long distance.
Yes.
Fees.
So she throws a little bit of belladonna
Belladonna.
into Angel Love is what she calls him. She calls him Angel Love.
Yeah.
She throws a little belladonna into his
Tequila.
tequila.
Yeah.
You know what belladonna
This
is?
dude, nah, I have no idea.
It's nightshade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she's trying to kill the motherfucker.
She's using a little bit, make him night night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will just make you tired enough without actually killing you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this guy, we really at this point don't get any sort of weird vibes from this dude because she's hanging out with all sorts of dudes, you know.
It definitely seems creepy to me.
Yeah, well, that was kind of, I thought was kind of weird is that because we hadn't been introduced to him yet, and then he just kind of like saunters up behind her and like blindfolds her ass. I was like, whoa, okay. It's kind of presumptuous. But then I was like, well, maybe they've been kind of seeing each other for a while, so it might not be that weird. But anyway, what is it?
He goes to sleep. She goes.
Yeah.
Jillian goes to see Sally.
Right. Sally tells Jillian in a letter about. Oh no, she tells her about her botanical shop, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jillian convinces Sally to quit neglecting her kids, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Sally opens the shop.
She gets out of bed and opens
She gets
the shop.
over it really fast.
Yeah. She needs her sister.
Right.
That's what it was. They talk about. Jillian talks about how. What's this dude's first name? I'm not gonna call him Angel Love. What's his first name?
Jimmy.
Yeah, she talks about how Jimmy has this real like cowboy vampire.
Yeah, he's from Transylvania.
He's from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Which is not far from Transylvania, and she says he has this real like cowboy vampire vibe, and I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna be a vampire.
Another chance for this movie to be cool.
Oh, okay, here we go.
See, that's what I was thinking too, and especially later on, whenever
Stuff
like
goes down.
yeah, I was like, oh, we're about to butt heads. No, nothing that cool ever happens.
Nope.
Because that's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, okay, here's where the plot thickens, you know. So anyway,
Sally gets her shit together.
yeah, the
Jillian goes back.
right, and the local kids are fucking with Sally's daughters, calling them witches. At one point, what is it? This after they keep fucking with her eldest daughter Rachel or Evan Rachel Wood, Kylie, she wishes that this boy gets chickenpox, and Sally's like, "Hey, we don't do that. We don't use magic, you know." Anyway, I wrote down I'm really tired of this movie, and we're only 29 minutes in.
Oh shit, we're only 29 in movie.
Yeah. I was looking at Mike like, what the fuck at this moment, you know? And sometimes during these movies, I'll be like, okay, well, it's really only like an hour once you know, minus out the credits and stuff like that. But credits weren't that long back then, you know? Credits for this were like maybe 3 minutes, you know? How many people does it take to cobble this bullshit together, you know?
Right.
So I'm sitting there like just counting the minutes till this fucker's done. Anyway, Jillian calls Sally. Sally goes to see her. She leaves her daughters with the aunts. And I guess they're gonna go to some fucking witch fest or some
Solstice.
shit. Yeah, that's what it is. Witch fest. Witch fest 98.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
I have a t-shirt.
It is one of the better ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a t-shirt from that one.
The Oz witches were gonna be there and stuff. Yeah, that's good. Jillian, she's at a hotel, and I guess there was an altercation that took place over a jelly donut. She explains because she got her eye dotted, and
She got punched in the face.
Yeah, and I guess she tells her, I guess that she and Jimmy were going to get donuts, and the guy asked what kind of donut he wanted, and he was like, one of those jelly donuts with the cream in it. And she was like, jelly donuts don't have cream in them. And he like just laid in her ass, like right there.
She said the donut kid was confused.
Right.
You could tell that, like, if he wanted a cream filled or a jelly filled or whatever. So she tried to explain to Jimmy, like, it doesn't work like that here. Jelly isn't cream.
Right.
And
that's not a jelly donut.
Yeah, so then he punched her.
Yeah. Good guy. So anyway,
she needs her tiger's eye.
Yeah.
So she can't find her necklace.
Right.
She left it in Jimmy's car.
Yes.
She runs away from Sally to go get it, and Jimmy's in the car and grabs her.
He is. So this is where I was like, oh, the vampire versus the witches, dude.
Me too.
We got this hostage situation, but there's 2 witches versus 1 vampire. They might have an upper hand, but I don't know, because vampires are always different.
How
based
crazy
upon
is
movies.
this motherfucker?
Yeah, and I don't know, because vampires, they kind of play it loose with the rules. So I don't really even know what kind of powers he has in this, So we're just gonna have to wait and find out. I mean, once it hits daylight, does he need sunglasses or sunblock?
Right.
No. Nope. Never plays into that at all. Basically, he gets the drop on him. He has Jillian at gunpoint, and he tells Sally to drive. And then Jillian telepathically tells her about the belladonna in her bag, the nightshade. And so Jimmy at one point tries to take his ring and heat it up and put a brand on her.
Yeah.
And
he tells a story about some cowboy who branded cows.
Right. And he talks about Louis L'Amour and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And anyway, at this point, Sally had taken the liquor bottle. She's like, "You're acting crazy. Give me the liquor bottle." And she throws all that nightshade in there, and she pours the belladonna in there. And I guess at some point he gets back a hold of it.
She just hands it to him.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Something's up at that point.
Well, no, she grabs it from. She's like, "Oh, I can't handle this." She grabs it and takes a swig. I need some booze too. She hurries up and hurriedly puts the belladonna in the thing.
Here you go.
And gives it back to him.
I gotcha. So then at one point he starts choking Jillian, and Sally attacks him. She's trying to hit him and get him off of her, and then sure enough he passes out. And they're like, "Okay, what are we gonna do now?" Only to find out that he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Too much nightshade.
So Sally wants to go to the cops. Jillian doesn't. They decide basically that they want to use a spell to bring him back to life. And that's whenever, basically because since they don't want to go to the cops, the best option is to just bring him back, have him run around.
Yeah, they're going to bring him back just so they don't go to jail.
Right. And so then, of course, as the ants said, that if we do bring him back, it's not going to be the same dude, After they carry out the spell, he wakes up and he starts choking Jillian again, and so that's whenever
and screaming, "I want you to be my wife."
Right. My thing is I really that much more sinister than he already was?
No, same guy.
Yeah.
Bloodshot eyes.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Give him some Visine. He's good to go. So anyway, Sally takes a frying pan, bashes him right upside the fucking head, and enough times to fucking kill his ass again. And that's when they bury him out in the woods while they play more whimsical music.
They bury him in their backyard.
Yeah.
Next to a gazebo.
Right. I just like the we just buried this undead person here. Alan Silvestri, cue the Forrest Gump music, So they decide they're not going to tell the ants what happened at all. And then the next day, the ants return with Sally's daughters. They're happy to see Jillian. And then I guess they're going to give Jillian a brownie for breakfast. I was like, oh, special brownies for breakfast. Get started early at the aunt's house. All right.
Oh, pop brownies. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I didn't think about that.
That's a party right there. But I think they're just talking about, because earlier they said they'd eat fucking bullshit junk all the time. So, yeah. By the way, if they're eating all this crap all the time, these nieces are in great shape, dude. They're looking pretty fly. So
witches, bro.
That's it. They put on the carb burning spell.
Yeah, they have that witch DNA.
Right. So, basically, Jillian goes to work at Sally's botanical shop that she's open, but she keeps fucking off. And
well, she's not working. She's just hanging out.
She's just hanging out, yeah. what is it? There's this whole ridiculous subplot about the phone tree contact list.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So pointless, bro.
It's so pointless. We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Jump ahead. Needless to say, all the women in the PTA don't like her because she's a witch.
And Jillian rigged it so Sally could be the head
Right.
of the list. Yeah, okay.
So then we we get to what looks like the middle of the day, and these ants are doing like this special like concoction in the kitchen.
It's like the middle of the night.
Oh, is that in the middle of the night? Because
Yeah.
to me it looked like it was daylight. Because we see like a frog jumping around outside in the daylight or whatever. But I might be mistaken on that one.
Okay.
Anyway, we find out that they're making margaritas. Mm-hmm. And so that's whenever Jillian goes to wake up Sally. And they're like, margaritas! And they go downstairs and they act like they've never seen a margarita before in their life, dude. They're dancing around the table.
To Lime
singing
and a
the
Coconut.
Lime and the Coconut song. Yeah, dude. Like, it is a full-on party. Right. Like, they hear that blender plug-in from a mile away, and they start losing their shit,
Yeah.
bro.
And they don't wake up the kids.
No.
The music is bumping.
Yeah.
They're screaming.
Right?
They had this moment where they're like telling truths, but they're all laughing.
Right.
They're talking shit about
That's
each
when she
other.
goes, Jillian, a whore?
And Sally goes, when has it ever been a crime to be a whore in this family?
Right.
Ah!
Damn, bitch. If I'm drunk, you might have just started a fight, yo.
Jillian calls the ants old hags.
She does. And so, what is it? Oh, I said tequila bottle close up. Oh, I think that's to show what the tequila bottle was. Which tequila, they like close in on it.
I was just thinking there's only one type of tequila in this world.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Whatever. By the way, they say that, so, long story short, the ants, as it turns out, they found this bottle of Jimmy's that was on the front porch with all the belladonna in it. And nobody knows how it got there. That's what they've been drinking this whole time. Who the fuck finds something on the front porch is like, I'll drink that.
Margaritas!
Right,
My wife might be guilty of that crime.
I think she did that last night, actually.
Does love some motherfucking margaritas.
Not front porch margaritas. Maybe top shelf margaritas.
Oh, she loves them, bro. She's not that picky.
I'm not a tequila guy, personally. But, so this whole subplot with, because the first thing once again, better opportunity to make a better movie, is I'm sitting there thinking, oh fuck, they all just drank poison fucking tequila.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude, like this is about to get fucking intense. No, they never
doesn't do
talk about
anything
it.
to them.
No, it doesn't phase
They
them
never
at all.
bring it up again.
No, they're just like, where'd you get this bottle? And they're like, we found it on the front porch. Like, how did it get there? If it were me, I'd be like, oh fuck, dude, I just poisoned the shit out of everybody in this house, you know? Except them girls. The girls are gonna come downstairs tomorrow morning. All the aunts and the nieces are gonna be dead as shit, you know?
And the ants know that Sally and Jillian are full of shit when they're saying they don't, what's going on here. They're denying everything.
Right. They're like, we had a problem. We took care of it.
Yeah, so they know they're full of shit.
They start singing the Elvis song that Jimmy was singing.
Well, that was earlier.
You were always on my mind.
At the table. That's when they
Yeah.
realized that the tequila
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah.
his.
Right.
But, so the ants know it's full of shit, so they go upstairs, and you just hear them talking for a second about how they're leaving. Well, what about the girls, the two daughters? Oh, they'll be fine, and we'll tie this piece of rope around their neck.
Yeah.
That's from the rope at the beginning scene of the
Right.
movie, where the broken hanging rope,
Yeah.
and they'll be safe.
Yeah. Put a noose around their neck. The granddaughter, or the nieces, the daughters are like, cool.
Yeah. And so the ants leave. They give a message to the little girls. They tie the rope around their necks and say, you'll be safe.
Right.
Give them a message to your mom.
Right.
And the message the next morning they find out is to clean up your own mess.
Right. So the eldest daughter, Kylie, sees a man by the roses out the window the next morning.
Yeah, Sally told her to go collect the mint.
Right. And so that doesn't really ever factor out because Sally and Jillian go to look out the window and they're like, I don't see anything. But we know that it's Jimmy. And then
So apparently her daughter has the ability to see spirits.
right. Yeah.
That's it. We don't ever hear about it again. That's it.
Nope. Jillian goes to look by where Jimmy was buried, and there's been like a fuckload of roses that have grown there overnight.
A lot.
Yeah. Like entire swaths of roses.
We know it grew overnight because the daughter told us.
Right.
It grew overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We didn't know otherwise.
I'm glad somebody's explaining this shit to me because this movie has no narrative thread whatsoever. So they go to check these roses out. She sees the tips of Jimmy's boots rising from the ground.
You're right.
And then they sink back into the ground.
Really confusing.
Whatever. And then Sally starts cutting down the roses. To me, if you're hiding a dead body, having a fuckload of roses on top of it, that is perfect right there. Because if an investigator shows up, he's like, well, we probably don't need to look here.
These roses have obviously been here for a while.
Yeah, they've been growing this shit for years, you know. But she starts cutting them down, and then this investigator, Gary Hallett, shows up. He's from Tucson, Arizona. So this is obviously outside of his jurisdiction.
He's a special investigator.
I call bullshit. If fucking somebody from Sacramento, California came to my house, I'd be like, all right, well, I need to see some shit before you're ever coming into my house. In that situation, you would contact the FBI and be like, yo, this is a jurisdictional issue, you know?
But Sally, for some reason, can't help but want to tell this guy the truth.
Right. Indeed. And so they start talking. Oh, he wants to talk to Jillian about Jimmy's whereabouts. And after he does, of course, Jillian, she's playing it off. She's basically like, yo, he hit me. I left. I ain't seen him since. And that's whenever Sally says that they stole his car and he kind of kidnapped him a little bit. Like, not being smooth at all.
Well, fucking Jimmy's car's in their driveway.
Right. Yeah. So instead, I'd have been like, yo, he hit me.
We ran.
I went into the quickest car I saw. You know, I was afraid, and I took off.
Yeah, grabbed the keys and took off.
Right, yeah. That's all you gotta say. Yeah, I took his car. You know, he can have it back. This dude, Hallett, talks about, he goes through this list of people that have been killed by Jimmy. Apparently there's this other woman that had been strangled like a couple years ago.
And branded with that ring.
Right.
On her face.
On her face, yeah. Because he was just gonna brand Jillian like on the ankle.
Right.
Not to say it's right, but I'd rather get one on the ankle than
if I'm taking a branding, please put it on my ankle.
Yeah, absolutely. Anywhere but my dick, pretty much.
And my face.
And my face. Yeah, those are out. If you wanted to do like an armpit or something, that would actually might be kind of ideal. Because I can hide that pretty easily.
Yeah,
you know?
good point.
He's like, well, I gotta go look at the car, and he winds up finding this belladonna sample that I guess Sally had spilled on the seat. And so anyway, Hallett, long story short, makes an appointment with Sally to ask questions with her the following morning. Meanwhile, Jillian and the daughters are making a potion, and they're gonna put it in the syrup for his pancakes to banish him from the premises. Mm-hmm. And then he basically, up until that point, had been talking to all these people around town, and they told him that
they're witches.
They're witches, yeah.
They kill their husbands.
Right. And man. At this point, I was like, what the fuck is this movie even about, yo? I don't get it. I can't believe that there is a producer somewhere that's like, yeah, perfect. That's the movie we're making.
No, this is what happened. The movie got pitched, and they're like, and we got Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman.
Cool.
He's like, let's go, green
All
like
right.
that shit.
Yep. I don't even give a fuck what it's about. Yeah. So he stays to make the pancakes. Actually, at one point, Sally winds up telling him what they did, and he's like, "Did you kill Jimmy?" And she was like, "Yeah, a couple times." And of course, the way that she said it sounds fucking
sarcastic,
bullshit. Yeah. And he was like, "Well, are you hiding him?" And she's like, "He's nowhere in this house, obviously, because he's out in the yard." And so he stays behind to make cactus pancakes with the daughters.
He flips them real high.
Yeah.
First clue.
Yeah, he's about to put the syrup on his pancakes, and then the daughters decide that they like him, and so they get rid of the syrup.
Well, he has a star.
Yeah, he does.
That was one of the rules in the love letter, or the love spell at the beginning of the movie, that his favorite shape would be a star.
Oh, okay.
And so they find his badge, and it's a star shaped.
Mm-hmm. And so,
So he flips pancakes. He has a star.
Right.
That's the guy from Mommy's Love spell.
did they ever talk about the horse thing?
No.
Oh, okay. So she didn't even know. If he can ride a horse backwards.
They show us later though.
Oh, okay.
Like
So,
we don't see it. They don't talk about it. But when she's describing her dude, the little montage shows him on a horse backwards.
I gotcha. So he goes down to check out what these girls were up to, and they're pouring this
They
syrup.
throw the
potion.
syrup.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Right. The container.
Everything
all the
into
shit, yeah.
the ocean.
Then we see where there's a frog that's there, and he barfs up Jimmy's ring, and of course, Jillian's trying to play it off like, oh, there's my ring I lost. And he's like, yeah, bullshit. You need to get an attorney. If he suspected them at that point, why didn't he just arrest them? I mean, technically that is outside of his jurisdiction, but he shouldn't really be there in the first place.
He's probably allowed to investigate. Just can't make any
I got you.
arrests.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like this movie makes any sense.
Right? Yeah, the legal proceedings of practical magic. You know?
Their lawyer consulted on the set. He was the only dude who was on the ball.
Right? Yeah, he's one of the writers too. That's why it sucks. And so anyway, Sally and Jillian get into a bit of a verbal altercation. Sally decides she's going to tell Hallett everything. And then Jillian seems to have a stomach ache.
Yep.
But they didn't really elaborate on that. They play fast and loose with this whole Jillian stomach ache thing too.
Yep.
By the way, keep in mind, this is like the third act of the movie. So far, nothing has happened. Another opportunity that I saw for this movie to really take off was after they killed Jimmy. I was thinking to myself like, oh, we got like a Thelma and Louise type situation. There's these two witches on the run. They killed this dude that like fucked the sister up, you know, and all this stuff. Okay, this could get interesting now. Not even close.
Nope.
So anyway,
And when the detective shows up, we have a real whodunit.
yeah, no, because Sandra Bullock's not gonna say anything, or that's not true, you know. So they go through. Whenever she goes to tell Hallett what happened, they wind up kissing. She notices the eyes are green and blue, so two different colors, like she wanted. She freaks out and leaves.
Well,
Long story short.
well, she can feel that Jillian's in trouble.
Oh yeah.
She can feel her girls being upset,
Right.
so she starts running.
Yep. So she's going toward her house. She hears Jillian call out telepathically. She goes to check her out. She's like spazzing out in a bed upstairs, and Jimmy's ghost emerges from Jillian. Really weird stuff, man. So I'm sitting back, and now I'm thinking like, so this is actually a ghost movie?
Yeah, he's a spirit. Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of came out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, and Hallett's quick on the drop.
Yeah, he shows up too, right at the last
He
second.
thinks that they still have Jimmy,
Right.
and he sees the spirit of Jimmy rising out of Jillian.
Right. And the ghost of Jimmy winds up, I guess, trying to grab for his heart, but he grabs the star instead.
It's really confusing because
They don't explain it.
well, and Hallett's like he's acting like his heart is being squeezed.
Well, it shows his hand go like into his chest.
Right,
Yeah.
but all of a sudden he's holding the badge,
Yeah.
and it put a star-shaped burn through his hand.
Do stars hurt ghosts?
I don't know.
It's pretty weird, bro. They do not explain that at all.
Do badges hurt ghosts?
I don't know. At first I was thinking like, was it the silver? But surely they don't make badges out of real silver, you know? Like, what the fuck is going on?
He's not a
here?
werewolf.
Yeah, exactly. It would be cool if like we thought he was a vampire and now he's a werewolf. You know, that
Yeah.
might be kind of legit. But I don't know. It's pretty weird. He looks at his hand and it's like a star-shaped like cut on his hand, and then he just disintegrates.
No, Hallett picks up his badge and shows it to him.
Oh yeah.
Then he disintegrates.
This one's a struggle to get through, brother.
But Jillian's not getting better.
No, she's not. So yeah, I said, but stars hurt him? What the fuck? That's
Oh.
my exact note.
Did Sally send Hallett away at this point?
I don't think so, not yet. So It's right after this that he does, because he tells Sally that he's torn because he has legal obligation, but he also really likes her. I think he's actually in love with her at this point, but they've only known each other for like 2 days. And like an entire day of that was spent investigating her.
Yeah, but he said he's read her letter
Yeah.
1,000 times.
1,000 times.
The letter that she wrote to her sister.
To Jillian, yeah.
Yeah, and that he feels like he came there looking for her more than he came there looking for Jimmy. So I was like, we got a love story.
Right.
Okay.
I guess that's, the gist of the thing. I got some problems with that we'll discuss later on. But basically, she tells Hallett that she summoned him when she was a little girl. And then I guess that she had told him about the curse. And he says to not be worried about it. And then he actually wished for her too.
Yeah, he said. So she said when she wrote the letter, she wished for him because she didn't think he existed, but here he is. And this is when we see the montage of like him as a little boy riding the pony backwards.
Oh, I got you.
There's like flower petals raining on him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. And then he says he don't believe in the fucking curse shit.
And I wrote down in caps, they've known each other for 2 days. So, Sally goes back to the house.
She said
he leaves.
Yeah, because she says like if you stay and we do this thing,
Right.
Like I'll always wonder if you're only here because of my love spell.
Right.
You'll always wonder if you're here because I didn't want to go to jail.
I'd fuck somebody to not go to jail. I'm just saying right now.
I'd fuck Hallett to not go to jail.
Absolutely. I was about to say I'll let a dude fuck me to not go to jail.
One dude fucking you to not go to jail is way
one
better.
One time.
It's way better than all the fuckings you're gonna be getting in prison.
Right. This ain't a situation where it's like I'll let you fuck me forever to not go to jail, because then I'll just go to jail.
It's the same thing.
I'd rather do that. Yeah.
What if he's got a micro penis?
That might be okay. I just don't want to see it. It might be good for a laugh, but that'd be about it.
You just feel like you're gonna poop the whole time.
These little water droplets. He's like, oh, I'm done.
Is it good for you, big guy?
Right? Well, my butthole's completely intact. Way to go.
Didn't even feel it.
Right? I guess you're done. Do you want to watch Star Trek or something? Or? So anyway, what is it? Sally goes back to the house and talks to Jillian, but she gets the idea that she's still possessed by Jimmy. And then the ants arrive.
Was it the creepy fucking growling?
Yeah.
Was that what gave it away?
Zool. Yeah. It reminded me of that one dude off of Howard the Duck.
Oh.
Where he's all possessed and shit by that fucking weirdo. But Ghostbusters is a good one too. She's possessed by Zool. Or what is it? She's the gatekeeper. Yeah. And so anyway, sure enough, right then the ants arrive, and they say that Jimmy needs to be banished from Jillian, and they need more people to do it.
9 would be good, 12 would be better. We need a whole coven. Call your friends.
Right.
This is the one reason why they wrote that fucking call tree into the story.
Absolutely.
It's so she could have people to call. And all these bitches who hate her are all on board.
Now they band together, yeah. Which is crazy because they say that she can't practice witchcraft when she looks down on witchcraft. And it's at this point that we get the montage for the phone tree, and she calls everybody, tells them she's a witch. And then I wrote down...
So you know all that stuff they've been saying this around the town? Well, it's true.
Right.
Can you bring a broom?
I wrote down, cue the whimsical exorcism music. Because she fucking... Sure enough, we hear more Forrest Gump bullshit during this whole thing where she's like, a demon's possessed my sister, and I'm gonna need your help, you know? And so there's that. So all of the Owens' friends, now I guess their friends come over.
And to include the 2 women who work in her shop.
Right.
Her natural healing shop or whatever. And
the one I recognize.
She is... Do you watch Shameless?
Yeah.
That's
She's
Mom.
the mom. Yeah. That's right. I was thinking about... I was like, I guarantee you I've seen that woman somewhere, but
What's
I could not
crazy
place
is this
it.
movie was made 20 years ago.
She looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
And it's not like she looked young then.
No.
No. She just looks her age now, you know? Yeah. It's really funny. I said they all come over for an exorcism potluck.
Yeah.
Because they're like bringing food and shit, you
They
know?
brought the brooms.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of weird that all the lady folks have to use brooms, and I was like, sexist much? You know?
Yeah,
there's a
it's kinda
cleaning
weird.
utensil for
It's
you
kind
to...
of weird.
Yeah.
I was surprised that the daughters weren't in the coven. The little girls.
That's fair.
Like, they're actual witches.
Right. You
They
would think
actually
that they would
have some power.
No, I mean, even though they haven't, they've still used it more than these bitches around town have.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Shit, at least one girl hexed a kid with chicken pox.
Yeah, exactly. Because they do show him in that montage with spots on his face and shit. Yeah. Basically, really long, drawn out exorcism scene. At one point, it seems as though Jillian's not going to come back, and so Sully does the blood oath thing again, and it banishes him completely.
And he turns into a cloud and then rains down in ash.
This is so stupid.
And then the women are like, it's time to do some cleaning, girls.
Right? They all get excited and run around the house sweeping.
Just sweeping, him on and out of the house.
Right.
And into the grass.
Right. Yeah. So now he's possessed the grass better than the house. I would grab a dust buster myself, like the one lady, but you know. Then they take their pot of boiling crap and they pour it on his grave. His spirit's not in that body anymore, so pouring all this bullshit on his body isn't going to do any good anyway. But I digress.
They didn't even show them making the stew.
They didn't, and
So-
they didn't really say what it was supposed to do, I don't think, or what all was in it.
No.
It's just a pot. I was like, is this like soup after they're done? Like they makes them hungry or what? You
Yeah, it
know?
looks like a big pot of tomatoes.
I mean, it didn't look good, but you know, like I wasn't gonna eat it. So anyway, Hallett mails a letter to Sally and Jillian saying that the death was accidental and the case is closed. I'm sorry, sir, you don't have the authority to do that at all. Just saying. What else was there?
the dude overdosed on Nightshade.
Yeah.
And we don't have a body.
Dude, that's a partier right
How
there.
do you announce that the death was accidental when you don't have a body?
Right. Exactly.
It's a missing persons case.
There is no proof. I mean, any policeman will tell you if there's nobody, there's no case. You know.
For me, it basically comes down to if they wanted to make this legit at all, the letter to them would have been like, "We've closed the missing persons case on Jimmy. He's assumed to be dead somewhere."
Yeah. Not. You're good. It was an accident.
It was an accident. How do you know it was an accident? We don't know shit.
Because he hasn't seen a body at all up to this point.
We haven't seen anything.
No.
There's no blood. His car is right in the driveway.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Stupid.
Hallett goes to see Sally and they kiss. And I wrote down, now the town likes witches.
Yeah, they're all about it. They all
WTF? Yeah.
gather around they all gather around the house to watch them jump off the roof.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins style.
Literally married with an umbrella, all the shit.
Yeah.
And then she, like, in passing mentions that the curse is broken. So the whole catalyst for this story is just kind of, like, glossed over real quick. Like, we're not cursed anymore, you know? That was the whole framework for this entire movie. And we don't even show, like, that it actually ever did end or how it happened. But, you know, it's done. And then I said the witches can fly with the help of umbrellas.
Which means just fall slowly.
Right.
They're not flying.
Like, I was thinking like the MC Hammer thing, like the old Taco Bell commercial where his like parachute pants like fling out and he like descend slowly.
Did you
from
ever
the
jump
Taco
off
Bell.
the roof of your house?
Oh, hell
with
no.
with an umbrella?
We lived in a 2-story house, so that wasn't gonna happen. I mean, we had a pool, so that would have been fucking epic right there. From the second story down to the in-ground pool. If I could have survived through that, I would have been a fucking legend, but no.
Bougie motherfucker.
Fucking pussy bitch. That's what the problem
We jumped
is.
off our roof. We only had a one story. We were poor folk.
Right.
One story house.
Right.
And yeah, we jumped with an umbrella. It didn't do shit.
No.
You fall.
Oh yeah, you still, I'm sure, could have gone to the hospital.
It doesn't even like blow the thing out.
No.
Like, you know, in the movies when the wind grabs it.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't even do that. You just
No.
fall into the ground.
Yeah. So the funny thing is in New York, where me and Mike were stationed in the military, it's like 30 minutes south of Canada.
Yeah.
And so I got this funny ass video that me and my wife were just dating at the time, and apparently Mike had built up this snow drift in his backyard so he could snowboard off the roof of his house and down onto the lawn, you know, like this little ramp that he built. It was pretty epic.
Yeah, it was.
I like it.
It was fun.
And at first I was like, damn, they got a lot of snow this year. You get that much snow every year, dude.
Every year.
They don't fuck around up there. The problem that I have, I guess, with this relationship with the dude that she married, Mike, and this Gary dude, whatever his fucking name is that it almost seems like, because if I was the daughters, I'd be like, oh, so you never loved dad, you know? Because you're convinced after you meet this dude, like, oh, he's the one I've waited for my entire life, you know? And I would, if I was one of the daughters, I'd be like, yo, that's still our dad, fuckface, you know?
Well, she's what? They want her to move on.
Well, at the end of the day, though, it's like, oh, this is the person I've dreamt of since I was a little girl. Your dad was the guy that I was like settling for.
Who?
You know?
How long was it since dad
They never
died?
say. From in the course of the movie, it looked like maybe 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Because if you think about it, because we don't ever really know how long he went back down and like he mailed her that letter and closed the case and all that shit. But from the time that he dies, Jillian goes to see her. And then she goes down to see Jillian. They kill Jimmy, and then they head back up there, and he shows up the next day. So we're talking a span of, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks tops.
It doesn't seem very
you
long.
know, and then like all the rest of the movie up until he leaves and goes back down to where he came from in Tucson. We don't really know how long that plays out, but the rest of it's under a week, you know. So I don't know. It's fucking weird, but.
This whole fucking movie's weird because none of it makes sense.
What'd you think of Practical Magic, Mike?
Let me tell you something about this movie.
Let's hear it.
It does suck,
Oh, it sucks.
but not as bad as Lost in Space.
Yeah, it's not hard to follow. Like
I can
Lost in
follow
Space.
it.
Yeah, it's
They're
a
not
movie.
giving me shit, but I
Yeah.
can follow it.
Right.
It's not as bad as Star Trek 5.
No, probably not. At least it makes sense.
I'd put this movie on like City of Angels level.
It's funny because I was thinking that same thing exactly. I think that's what kind of associated me with
Meg
this
Ryan.
movie and Meg Ryan. Yeah, was that this seems like some bullshit she would have cranked out after doing City of Angels. 1998, you fucked us again, you motherfucker.
This movie,
This is really bad, dude.
and I think the people making it were really confused. Like, what kind of movie are we making it? You said in IMDb it's listed as a fantasy romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this
It's
movie
not
doesn't know
funny.
if it's a love story.
No.
This movie doesn't know if it's a sister movie.
Right.
This movie doesn't know if it's a girl power movie.
Right.
This movie doesn't know if it's a kids movie.
Mystery. Yeah, exactly. You could even play out some supernatural thriller. There's
Right.
a hostage situation.
In the scene where Jimmy's holding Jelly Bean,
Yeah.
she calls her Jelly Bean the whole movie. It's annoying as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
When he's holding her by gunpoint, I never saw the gun.
No. I think right whenever he reveals himself, he had a gun, and that's the only time you see it, actually.
I see him holding Jillian by like chokehold, pretty
Yeah.
much. He's got his right hand like up against her head, and I don't see a gun there.
Right.
And he says, "You're driving." That's it.
Yeah. No, that's kind of the problem, because I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, like, because at first I was like, okay, so we got this curse. She lost her husband. Obviously, they established that this curse took place where it takes all the husbands, you know. And then I was thinking, like, okay, well, this is a movie about trying to get him back. No, it's not that. And then I was like, okay, well, she got the hold of the sister. I was like, no, that's not what it's about either, because they kill his ass off pretty quick. This is a movie about the investigation that takes place. No, it's really not. And it actually turns into a love story. And I was like, okay, so now it's a love story, I guess. And but then we got this whole exorcism thing in there too, which is handled so fucking poorly. Like, if you watch like the exorcism scene from like The Exorcist or The Conjuring or something like that versus this fucking thing,
Oh God.
it's ridiculous. You know, this is on par because in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, the second one, There's like an exorcism scene in that movie because they die. That's on par with that, except they're trying to take it more seriously here, you know? So.
This movie is so confused, I can confidently diagnose it with multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely. It was, I guess, a novel written by a woman named Alice Hoffman.
I promise you the book is better than this. Has to be.
I'm never going to find out because I have no desire to
I'm not reading
any
it
more of this shit that this woman has ever written. Unless they really took this, like, property and just fucked it up completely.
It was probably a big old fat thick book.
Oh, yeah, like a Harry Potter book.
Yeah, and then they watered it down to make a movie and
Right.
you got nothing.
Throw in a little fucking Faith Hill and call it good. Yeah.
That was a hit song.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, no, it's really dumb. I don't recommend you watch this fucking thing unless you really just have to watch every Sandra Bullock movie.
Or Nicole Kidman movie.
Or Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Listen, my sister-in-law, Michelle, watches some shit movies. Her and my wife...
She watches some decent stuff, but
No,
yeah,
they
she
do.
watches a lot of bullshit,
No, they
too.
do. They do watch decent stuff, but they nostalgia... They're super nostalgic over the stuff they grew up with.
My wife and Nicole are downstairs watching Hocus Pocus right now, so what's
Right
that
now.
tell you? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and yes, I know some of you guys out there love Hocus Pocus, but listen, like it's not
good.
It's not a good movie. What was that other movie that they liked so much? I can't remember.
Probably
Doesn't
Howard the
matter.
Duck. Fucking
No. I like that movie.
That movie sucks, too.
But Michelle thought this movie was dog shit.
Yeah.
Like we talked about having her come up here and podcast with us because she
Right.
thought it was so shitty.
She would not be quiet about how much she disliked this movie.
And also mentioned several times that she watched it multiple times,
Yeah.
which makes no sense to me.
I don't get that. I asked her if she saw it at the theater. She's like, no.
She was 11.
Right. I mean, it's PG-13. It's pretty harmless, really. But, any final thoughts on Practical Magic, Miguel?
No,
Yeah, the less said, the better, I think.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
no desire.
Fucking waste of time. Did you watch anything worth mentioning this week, Mike?
Yes,
Oh, let's hear it.
yes, I did. I've been hearing the words "the sinner" mentioned to me several times,
All right.
and we, like I said, Nicole and I marathoned the show Maniac on
Yes.
Netflix. So
Jonah Hill thing?
Yeah, with Jonah Hill and Emma Stone.
Right.
So this week I was like, babe, let's watch that Sinner movie. The only reason we didn't finish this in one sitting is because we have to work the next day.
Oh, okay.
It's that fucking good. And you know how long you have to wait? The first episode, you're in it, dude.
Really?
You're in it.
Is it
I'm not telling you anything about it.
yeah, well,
Jessica Biel's in it,
okay.
and she's back, Hollywood. Welcome back, Jessica Biel. I'm telling you, she kills it.
That's funny you say that because I think she's always had kind of this negative stigma that she wasn't that good of an actress. So
No,
I'm
I-
really glad that she did well.
No, I know she has. It was after I now pronounce you.
Chuck, or no, it was Good Luck Chuck that she was in with Dane Cook. Or no, that was Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
It might be Chuck and Larry.
Yeah, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Right. And Stealth, she came out with, and everybody was fucking shitting on that thing.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, we found her genre. She's back.
Me and you had talked about that a little bit before, but I don't remember. You said that's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix right now.
Okay.
It is created by USA,
Okay.
the network, which is stunning because this show is nothing like anything I'd ever seen on USA. I barely ever watched USA, but the genre of it is so different. It's actually in like an anthology series where like I don't know if I use that right, but they don't follow the same storyline. So
Yeah.
like Jessica Biel season's over.
Oh, okay. So like each season is its own
It's a
self-contained,
different
kind of like
story.
American Horror Story.
A lot like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But where they're gonna, I don't want to say anything about anything that happens, so I'm not gonna mention it. But there's a character in the first season who's a detective. And apparently, they're following his stories.
I got you.
That's all I'll say.
Okay.
It's that good though. Like, it's that good. I can't stop talking about how good that show is.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary called Oklahoma City, which is about the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995.
Okay.
And it goes really deep into like what led up to that and all that stuff. It was pretty good.
I know that's on Netflix because
It
you were
is.
talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
When I think of USA, I think of like Monk, like Tony Shalhoub. Like I don't think of like that deal you're talking about.
Dude, this show was something you would think it was made on like Showtime or HBO.
Yeah.
Or AMC.
Right.
You know, like the channels that are known for making like really good dramas.
Yeah.
That's how good.
Sort of
this is.
like cutting edge, sort
That's
of
how good this
groundbreaking.
is.
Yeah. Because so USA stepping up their game. That's good. I'm actually interested in that Oklahoma City deal too, because I remember when that happened. It was a couple days before my birthday, actually. So, but
April 19th, 1995.
or a couple days after, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else?
Oh, I started that Big Mouth show.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that.
Yeah, the animated series by Nick Kroll on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's really funny. I thought.
Yeah. I think I watched an episode and thought it was okay.
It's loosely based on like Nick Kroll's experience growing up.
Yeah.
Nick Kroll, you guys know him from like SNL. I think he was on there.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's on some other stuff. You guys would see him in, but
Right.
it's pretty good.
This week I watched The Witch. So you can imagine the stark contrast. I know you haven't watched that yet.
No.
But this movie is about witches, and that one's about like real witches, you know, and all that. And they actually play pretty heavily into the lore of witchcraft and stuff like that. So the contrast is completely different, man.
I can't imagine.
Oh yeah, I was watching this like, dude, the Alan Silvestri music where everything's like, you know, it sounds like something that kids would be like playing kick the can to and shit like that, you know, compared to that fucking thing, you know?
That's why I said, does it think it's a kid's movie?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it was very similar to like
Just
Hocus
so
Pocus and some of this.
whimsical, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only word I can describe it as whimsical, you know? So I watched that. It's pretty fucked up. That's all I'm gonna say. Is it's fucked up.
Okay.
Me and the wife, whenever we got done watching that movie, we didn't even sit back and like talk to it, because usually we'll sit back and like, man, I thought that was a pretty good movie, you know. At the end of that, I was just like, it was about bedtime. I just turned the TV off and like, has our dog been out yet? Like, I didn't even know what to say, you know. It was. I also watched the original Halloween.
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's a good one.
Getting prepped for that new one coming out.
Yeah.
And
When's that release?
I think it's this upcoming Friday. So really
Not
looking
making
forward
that
to
Halloween 2.0 mistake again.
it. No. Yeah, the H2O. Yeah, no, don't do that.
2.0.
2.0. Yeah. Yeah, that was the Rob Zombie one where they
Yeah.
rebooted the fucker. And then I watched the original Friday the 13th. So that was
That's a good
enjoyable.
one, too.
Yeah. I also watched some of the British Office this week.
Yeah, I've never seen the episode.
Man, so it's funny because I think I was telling you, whenever you go to watch the American version of The Office with Steve Carell and John Krasinski and all that, you know, at the end of the day, they sit back and they're kind of like, well, you know, Michael Scott, he's insensitive and he's kind of a jerk, but he's still a good guy at the end of the day, you know, and he doesn't intend to do anybody any harm. Ricky Gervais plays the boss in the British one.
Right.
And golly, dude, he is a fucking cocksucker, man. Like, he is a dickhead throughout. He has no redeeming qualities about him at all. So, if you like British humor, I recommend it. I know with me, because they talk really fast, and some of them have really thick accents, so I usually watch it with subtitles, even though that sounds super American to say. But it's pretty good. So, Mike, do you have any
Shane.
idea what we're watching next week?
Does it look like I know what the fuck we're talking about next week?
Any guesses? I'll give you a hint. Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man.
Wrong.
Oh.
So wrong.
Hold on, let me get another one. Hold on. Give me another hint.
Reese Witherspoon.
I'm sure I've seen this.
Black and White.
Pleasantville?
Yeah, we're watching Pleasantville next week. So we'll see if 1998 keeps up its winning streak or not. But so there's that. We have to look for it. Why are you giving me that look?
I don't want to just keep talking about these shitty movies.
Right.
So
I'm just gonna say I didn't like Pleasantville at all.
So,
but we'll go into it next week a little bit more.
we've been running this show now. This is our 39th consecutive episode.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't missed a week despite you
Right.
having a kid.
Yep.
Despite
I literally had a child.
yeah, well you didn't.
Well, no.
Your wife
I'm not
did.
pushing that fucking thing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
huge.
But you
yeah.
you guys have a new baby in the house.
Right.
You know, and
Who's crying downstairs right now?
He's been crying all fucking day.
Right.
My crazy work schedule that requires me to work on like Saturdays and Sundays and Friday nights.
Out of control.
Yeah.
You signed a contract and the Army's taking full advantage of that.
They sure are.
Yeah.
They sure are. I'm not mad at you, Army. I'm not mad at you. You guys made my life way better than it was before. But anyways, like despite all that, we have not missed a week yet.
Not one.
And like we do have some really loyal listeners.
Oh yeah.
Some really loyal listeners. You know, Jason Cook, Charlene Bronsall, James Brewer. Like these are people who don't miss an episode.
Jim Brewer listens to it?
James Brewer.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, not Jim Brewer. Like these people don't miss an episode.
Yeah.
You know, they may not listen to them the day they come out, but they get to them.
Yeah.
They listen to them. I'm tracking our downloads, and we're not like nothing's happening.
Right.
Like we do get.
We got a pulse.
We do get listens.
We ain't living.
But we're not like growing at leaps and bounds.
Life support. Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, do we just suck? I mean, we kind of suck.
I think 1998 sucks.
But I'm listening. I started looking. There's a lot of podcasts about movies, by the way. Like a lot of podcasts. And most of them are podcasts that just talk about shitty movies.
Right.
Like We Hate Movies.
Yeah.
Is a big one.
I actually like We Hate Movies. It's a pretty good one.
It's good.
Those dudes are funny too.
There's another one called How Did This Get Made?
I haven't listened to that, but I love the title.
Yeah. Shout out to How Did This Get Made. If you're listening, Practical Magic might be a good one for you.
Yeah. Haters Online, that's the moneymaker right there. So yeah.
There's these other, these big podcasts out there that are like doing pretty well talking about movies. And their premise most of the time is like talking about really bad movies.
Right. Highlander 2, fucking...
Just a lot of dog shit movies. You know, and so, like basically your picks. You know, those kind of
Why don't you fuck off?
But I'm hurting, man. I need to see something good.
Right. That's the thing about it right there is that I could probably count on one hand how many of these movies that we've watched this year that I would consider to be genuinely good.
And I promise you that all of them but one or two were our picks.
Well, I'm just saying movies that came out 20 years ago. If we're talking like The Truman Show, I like He Got Game.
It's good.
Yeah.
Truman Show is really good.
Yeah, fantastic. There's a couple others that are maybe coming to mind. No, not that bullshit. That movie fucking sucked.
Titanic.
Titanic was good. It was 97, but yeah. I mean, we still talked about it 20 years ago, so. But, yeah, man, 1998, dude. I'm actually looking forward to 99.
Me too.
Because that's when The Matrix came out.
Oh.
Okay. The Mummy came out, the Brendan Fraser one.
Okay.
We could talk all day about Star Wars Episode 1. I'll tell you that.
Oh, we'll be doing some talking.
Oh my God, yeah. So there's some stuff coming up on the docket, but the thing about it is a lot of these movies, I just don't have anything to say, dude. Like, they're not good and they're not so bad that they're interesting, you know?
Right.
So, anyway, if you find something interesting, maybe you got a parking ticket or something, you can email us. It doesn't have to be movie related, but preferably you can always email us cheesymovie@yahoo.com. Check us out on our Facebook page, Casino Royale with cheese, all separate words. You can look us up on iTunes, YouTube, Instagram, yeah, Casino Royale WCheese, all one word, and our Twitter. If you feel like wasting some time, you can check us out, Casino Royale WCH. And I think that covers all of our social media bases there, Mike.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Anyway, so be sure that you join us next week as we endure Pleasantville. And that's going to be it for me.
Bye.
I'll be back.